Okay, if not, it's just like the down arrow key.
I think you'll use the right and the left arrow.
Okay.
So left to go back, right to go forward.
Got it.
So I just put a new battery in it to make sure it's ready.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. So it works.
All right, perfect. Thank you. All right, good morning, everybody. Great to see a sea of maroon and gold. And some other colors, it's fine. Don't want anybody to feel guilty if you don't have maroon and gold on. But hey, I have to say from up here, Casey, athletic training, well done. Guys are looking sharp back there. I like it. And we actually have some from biology who's trying to kind of blend in with you back there. Nice try, but that's okay. We know who's who here. All right, well, I want to welcome everybody to the fall opening session. My name is Marty Roth, president here at the University of Charleston. Great to be with you. I hope everybody had a fantastic summer. Who had a great summer? All right. Who's going to have a great fall? That's what I'm talking about. All right, we have an action-packed opening session. Going to cover a few things as we customarily do with our opening sessions. We're going to welcome our new employees. We'll call you up by name. Your supervisor will kind of lead you up onto the stage. We'll get a picture. Everybody will get a nice University of Charleston pin, which we want you to wear loudly and proudly when you're dressed like Tim McCutcheon there in the first row with your suit, all right? If you got your polo, that's okay. You can wear it if you want with your polo. After we welcome our new employees, we also want to recognize some faculty who earned promotions, which were awarded in the spring, so recognize them as well. Give everybody an update on some enrollment numbers, both in terms of how we did this past summer, how things are looking for the fall. Of course, things are always in flux. It's never over till it's over, what we call Fall Freeze Day. We'll let you know where we are at this point in time, both in terms of student enrollment as well as number of students living in the residence halls. Quick update on some past summer and upcoming fall events. One of the big events that's happening this fall and will go into the winter and spring is our reaccreditation with the Higher Learning Commission. That's the organization that accredits us to be able to award degrees. So pretty important, right? We can't award degrees, no one's going to come here. So the provost and his team are coordinating those activities. I want to give everybody an update on what we have been doing and what we can expect over the next few months. Talk a little bit about culture and communications here at UC, and then we'll wrap things up with awards that we give out twice a year. The Heisman Award for an individual who has gone above and beyond with their roles and responsibilities, as well as a team who has done extraordinary work, which we call the Shell Award. Kind of harkens back to the days when University of Charleston had shells of rowers rowing on the mighty Kanawha River and the unity that it takes to be successful in crew or in rowing. So before I jump into the new employees, I do want to perhaps solve a mystery which you may be experiencing over the last 60 seconds. Having some dental work done, so the lisp is new. I know we all love it. I don't. It should be gone hopefully by January or February. It's a journey, my dentist tells me. So I'm on it. Okay, we're going to start off with new employees, so we're going to kind of go alphabetically by unit. So we'll begin with A in admissions. So Dr. Wolf, if you could lead your team up to the stage. We're going to welcome Samaya Akhtar. Samaya, great to have you back. Samaya was an MBA student, worked as a graduate assistant, and is now with us as an admissions counselor. Nichelle Denson, similar story. Everybody knows Michelle, unless you just remember seeing somebody walking around in a mascot uniform. But Michelle completed her undergraduate degree, performed in the band, did lots of different activities on campus, and is now working as a GA at admissions. And Nguyen, did I do that right? Well, get it right. What is Nguyen. Nguyen, also glad to have you back. An undergraduate student now working with us as a graduate assistant. So want to welcome our colleagues from admissions. Round of applause. Okay. Yep. Next up, I want to welcome Rhonda Braley to join me on the stage. Is Rhonda here? Beth, just stay up. We'll get a group picture. Of this group. Is that okay? Did you? Oh, you already got him? Okay, never mind. False alarm. Rhonda, come on up. Rhonda joins us as gift processing specialist and administrative assistant in the advancement office. Rhonda, thanks for joining us. Gail Carter, Vice President for Development, is down at the Innovation Hub for an event this morning, so happy to fill in for her. And then in the School of Arts and Sciences, we want to welcome a new faculty member, Dr. Carla Donahue, Assistant Professor in Psychology. Come on up. Thank you, Tracy. There you go. All right, let's switch over to facilities. Gary Boyd, if you wouldn't mind leading up two new colleagues, if they're here. Joe Christian joined us as a groundskeeper, and Paula Tolman as a custodian. I want to welcome them to the UC family. Joe, glad you could be here. All right, Connor will get a picture of you too. Oh, Paula's here. Great. Oh, thanks, Paula. Nice to meet you. Thanks. All right, for financial aid, pleased to have Haley Moore come up to the stage, maybe for the second time. Thanks, Haley. Haley was also an undergraduate student here, played basketball. There we go. Glad to have Haley back. And a number of new colleagues in food services. So Dean Moore, oops, there you go. Let's welcome up to the stage Darla Smith, cashier. McKaylee Payton, cook. Braden Atkins, utility worker. Dylan Hendricks, utility worker. James Ruffin, Damian Cade as grill cooks, and Margaret Watson as prep cooks. Thanks, everybody. All right, we jump from F to P. Here we go. School of Pharmacy, Dr. Christy Lucas. We'll welcome Stephanie Spears, our new Experiential Education and Outreach Coordinator. All right, Stephanie. Just come on here out of the light a little bit. In security, we welcome Peyton Jackson as a patrol officer. Not sure if Chief or Peyton are here this morning. Haven't seen him? Worked last night, night shift, okay. Needs to get his rest. Glad to have Peyton on board. In student life, we welcome Brooke Burns as a graduate assistant, Autumn Wagner as sexual awareness and violence education counselor, and Trevor Fulcher as our new residence life coordinator for assessment. And in Student Solutions, no, Corey's not here today? All right, well, we welcome Corey Brown, a new communication specialist. Okay, the School of Health Sciences. Mindy and team have been busy. All right, so we'll start off recognizing folks who are joining us here in Charleston, and then we'll invite anybody from Beckley who's here with us today. So we have a new program director for the Masters of Occupational Therapy program. That's Dr. Nicole Scheiman. We have 3 new colleagues who have joined us in our new DNAP program on a full-time basis, and that's Dr. Megan Orfanos, Associate Professor and Program Director. Go ahead. Dr. Priscilla Walkup as Associate Professor, and Dr. Michelle Stotts as Assistant Professor. And I'm going to pause right there and recognize some other faculty members in the DNAP program who are now kind of splitting their time between joining us here at UC and doing the teach out of the program that they have been partnering with Marshall University. So these folks should be joining us full time probably next year, and we'll have them up on the stage at that time. But I want to recognize them and thank you for coming today. So those include Megan Workman, Laura Griffith, Jerry McClellan, and Cassie Taylor. Thank you so much for being part of UC. All right, also joining us here in Charleston, Dr. Rebecca Greenwood, Associate Professor of Physical Therapy, and Dr. Christopher Covert, Assistant Professor of Physical Therapy. I'm not sure if they're here or if they're remote today. And Dr. Christopher Covert, Assistant Professor in, Mindy?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Professor Covert?
DBT.
DBT as well? Okay, thank you. And Mary Kate Ballard with the MSOT program. Sure. All right, and we'll get you next. A number of great colleagues joining us in the Beckley location as well. Landon Blankenship, Assistant Professor of Nursing. Come on up. Heather Thumb, Assistant Professor of Nursing. Dawn Christopher, Instructor and Academic Fieldwork Coordinator for the OTA program. Courtney Hall in Radiology, and Ashley Winkowski, Instructor of Nursing. Okay. Did I miss you?
Nicole LaRue.
Nicole LaRue, come on up. Which program? Also with the Masters of Occupational Therapy program. Thanks so much for joining us. And Connor, how do you want to do this? There you go. Good call. Yeah. Connor, do you want to have him get in front of the stage? We have enough room? It's up to you. Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Okay. Okay, so Maddie Long, come on up. Maddie joins us in the Physician Assistant Program. There you go. Hey, Maddie. That's right. Great. Thanks, Mindy. Okay, if you think School of Health Sciences had a lot, just wait for Dr. Brent Stevens in athletics. We know how competitive she is, so she had to have the most new employees. So here we go. We're going to break this up a little bit. So we'll do the first group, which includes Jackie Brown's our new head cheerleading coach. Not sure if Coach Brown was able to join us this morning. James Long, new head coach for men's basketball. Also on his squad, Javante Hayes is assistant coach, and Peyton Stern as assistant coach. Rob Poole, head coach for men's volleyball. Quentin Ward joins him as a graduate assistant. Leading the women's basketball team, Bubby Johnson is head coach. Rana El Hassane is the assistant coach. I don't believe Rasana is here today. Who else do we have here? Sarah Leiby, head coach of women's soccer. Taylor Welch, head coach of softball. I don't think Taylor's here. I think she's coming Thursday. Excellent. Carter Lyles, assistant coach for baseball, and Connor McTeer, graduate assistant for baseball. Round of applause. Yeah, go. All right, thanks, guys. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
We shaking hands?
There you go. There, Rob.
Have you guys?
Good.
I can do it.
Yeah. All right, next up we have the formal contingent of the athletics department. From the football team, assistant coach Marshall Cooper, assistant coach Kyle Rigney, Hunter Becker, assistant coach, Tavon Lawson, assistant coach, Karan Gibson, assistant coach, Alex Dougherty, assistant coach. Also coming up to the stage from track and field, Sean Arthur, assistant coach on the men's side, and Bethany Sykes, graduate assistant on the men's and women's side. And Sean's doing men's and women's, I think I misspoke.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're up at Canaan, so.
Up at Canaan, that's right. They're running hard already. Okay. All right, welcome everybody. Okay, a couple more from athletics, some that are here with us today. Introduce all of them. Corbin Bowers, assistant coach, men's soccer. Connor Hartwell, graduate assistant, men's soccer. Alejandro Caridi, graduate assistant, men's soccer. Ruben Garcia, graduate assistant for men's tennis. John Bowman, graduate assistant for women's tennis. Julia Roca, graduate assistant for women's volleyball. And Martina Melikarova, graduate assistant for women's volleyball. Welcome, everybody. Okay, round of applause for all of our new employees. And those of you unable to be here today, especially those of you joining us via the live stream, we welcome you and are excited to have you be part of the UC family. I mentioned I wanted to recognize our faculty colleagues who earned promotions in the spring. So when I call your name, just kind of please stand up and we will recognize you as well. Promoted to Associate Professor, Debbie Bannister. Debbie? And promoted to full professor, Dr. Jennifer Hoffman. Jennifer? Dr. Cal Lathan. Great job, Cal. And masquerading as an athletic trainer, Dr. Mark Watson. Okay, let me jump into some updates. So we had a great summer. Summer enrollment, we reached over 1,900 students enrolled across Summer A and Summer B. So very excited to eclipse the 1,800 mark, which was our kind of high water over the last few years. So really appreciate everybody's hard work in attracting students. Some of them were new students joining us in our online program, but the majority were returners who were continuing their education with us. And this kind of gives a breakdown across the different programs. With regard to Fall A, this is what we call point in time. We'll begin classes, as everybody knows, next Monday, and then we'll have our kind of drop dead date for both admissions and those students that withdraw or just for whatever reason aren't matriculating with us in the fall. We call that freeze day. That'll happen towards the kind of beginning of September. Yeah, I'm not sure the exact date. But once we kind of hit the fall freeze day, that's when we'll know our final numbers for the fall. But right now, Numbers are looking very good. We're currently tracking as of yesterday, 2,766 students enrolled. Now, this compares to about 5 days later than last year, which is the second column from the right, which was August 8th, but a little bit behind August 17th, the year previous to that. So we're always, this isn't exact way to compare, just the nature of kind of enrollment and tracking admissions. But the bottom line is numbers are looking good. Very excited for the number of students that we should be serving come the fall. And part of those students will be new students. So this table shows us new fall undergraduate student status across a number of kind of major categories. And once again, we see kind of a nice increase as of Monday compared to August 7th of the previous year, which was ahead of the years prior to that. So looks like a very nice increase, mainly due to some significant growth in our online programs. So things are looking good. We continue to read a lot about schools, both in West Virginia and across the country, that are finding ways to eliminate programs, reduce the number of faculty and staff, in some cases closing or merging with other institutions. It continues to be challenging times in higher education. Simply are fewer students graduating from high school than ever before, and there's a lot of competition in the market, as we all know. But nonetheless, we're doing very well here at the University of Charleston, and we'll continue to keep enrollment, which leads to our major revenue stream, as pretty much the top priority of what we all need to focus on moving forward here at UC. So this following just kind of summarizes the bottom line of those last three tables into a chart. So we see at the top the orange is the projected or point in time fall enrollment, looking at close to 2,700 in August 2020, into the 2,700s in 2022. A little drop last year as we were experiencing larger classes that we brought in 2017 and 18 graduate compared to the smaller classes that we were bringing in during the COVID years of 2020 and 2021. But as we've seen increases in those new student enrollments, particularly over the last couple years, this is where we're seeing our total fall numbers starting to move back up into the positive direction, which we've all worked so hard to do. And then that middle line in black are the summer enrollments, where again we're seeing some really nice increases the last 2 years. So really appreciate everybody's hard work, whether you've been directly involved with recruiting and attracting students to come here to UC, or if you've been more focused on retaining students by making sure they have a great experience with us here in Charleston, in Beckley, engage with us online. Both recruiting and retention continue to be really high priorities, and couldn't be prouder of the nice overall increases that we're seeing this year. Also want to focus a little bit of your attention on housing. This is also an important part of the student experience for many of our Charleston-based students. Our facilities team does great work making sure that each summer we keep our residence halls in the greatest shape possible. They do take a little bit of wear and tear over the 8 or 9 months that our students are living there, but when they come back in the summers, they have been over the last couple weeks, and many more will be moving in this coming weekend. We want to make sure that they have a great experience residing with us here on campus. So the numbers, projected numbers for 2024, once again, are looking very good. We've been in the 670s the last couple years. Right now, we're projecting around 690, which would take us to about 96% capacity utilization in the residence halls. So I want to thank Ryan, his staff, Dean Moore, for all the great work in making sure that we're doing the best that we can with our housing experience and housing revenue for the university. Part of what drives our revenue is not only the recruiting into our degree programs, which we're all very familiar with, but also increasingly serving students in non-degree programs. And really proud of the work that our colleagues are doing out of the School of Leadership to help us provide great educational experiences for professionals in particular industries. So a couple of years ago, we had a very successful leadership certificate program for emergency medical services personnel throughout the state of West Virginia. We had over 300 EMS professionals complete a 5-course leadership certificate program that was funded by the state of West Virginia. We're in the process of getting enrolled, hopefully 300 new students into a law enforcement leadership certificate program that again will be a free educational experience. 5 courses the individuals will complete over a 5-month period, and that program is funded by a grant that we received through the Department of Justice. So we're be starting that program with all the other programs next Monday. So really want to thank Dale Retzlaff and Tony Giamo from the School of Leadership, along with Bill Manier and Rodney Miller, who are kind of our subject matter experts in that space that are doing kind of yeoman's work recruiting and will be overseeing the program delivery for those programs. And we're continuing to try to explore as many of these types of educational opportunities that we can, where we have some really great subject matter expertise. We have great capabilities in distance learning, online education, and where we know there's really important needs in the community where there may be some local, state, or federal dollars to help support the professional development, better service, and staff retention in areas like law enforcement, EMS, corrections, and so forth. Also want to make sure everybody's aware of our new programs for fall of 2024, some of which are driving the enrollment growth that you saw in the previous slides. So we recognize some new colleagues that are joining us in the Doctor of Nurse Anesthesia practice. Well over 200 applications, of 140 or so completed applications, selected close to 70 individuals to come here to UC for required in-person interviews, and 30 offers of acceptance were made, and all 30 were accepted. So really proud of the work that our colleagues in the DNA program are doing to lead that initiative, and once again appreciate Mindy's leadership and Beth and Dan and Cleta, the whole team that has kind of come together with this new partnership with CMC. Also excited that we're offering a new criminal justice leadership certificate. Currently, it's an online program that is part of our suite of leadership programs where we're serving working adults, many who are proudly serving the country, active duty in the military. And we'll be looking at ways that we can perhaps expand not only the kind of leadership enrollment portfolio, but kind of leverage this expertise in criminal justice across additional markets as well. And then we also are starting a Master of Arts in Mental Health Counseling this fall. So Rance Barry is leading that initiative. That will also be is also a online program. And then, as we always do, kind of innovation is our middle name here at UC. So I know some faculty and academic leaders are working on some potential new offerings that will be kind of vetting through the faculty approval and ultimately the Board of Trustees approval for additional new programs that we may bring to market next year or in the coming years. Also want to update everybody on different events and projects. So as I mentioned, Gail Carter is currently downtown with our kind of Fresh Start Breakfast, a series which we do 6 times a year, where we bring primarily business or organizational leaders in for an informal breakfast meeting. We obviously serve breakfast, and it's an opportunity to kind of learn from them about innovative things that they're doing in their organization. So this morning, Robert McCoy, who's the president of a company called Amherst Madison. I'm sure we've all seen those barges going up and down the river, pushing coal and other things. That's Amherst Madison. That's what they do. They're the ones that have all the boats and the barges that are doing river transportation. Well, a few years ago, that company transitioned from a family-owned business to an employee-owned business. And so Robert is joining us downtown this morning to talk about employee ownership as a business model for organizations. So it's an example of the type of programming that we do downtown, so certainly encourage you to come down for those events if it fits your schedule, and encourage your students to attend them as well. They're free, great breakfast catered by one of the local restaurants with support from our own catering staff. We also do a Two Views Tuesday event 4 times a year. The next one will be in September, second Tuesday in September. Starts at 4 o'clock, and we'll bring a couple folks in to kind of provide different perspectives on important contemporary issues. So the one coming up in September is going to focus on fossil fuels versus renewables as different energy sources that we can kind of increasingly rely on here in West Virginia and across the country and across the world. So it's not a debate. It's not about which one's better. It's not about which one's worse. It's just about helping us as informed citizens wanting to learn a little bit more about different energy sources, pros and cons, and so forth. So again, these are open to the public. They're free, followed by a happy hour, so there's nice food and drink afterwards. So I encourage you to take advantage of the Inspiring Innovation Series at the Downtown Innovation Hub. Hats off to our facilities, our catering, our security, our IT, the cast of thousands that enable us to host great Symphony Sunday and wine and jazz events here on campus. Back before the drought and the grass was green, but it was both fantastic events, and we always get such great recognition from members of the community for us opening up our campus to thousands of individuals to come enjoy those great events here in Charleston. We've been doing some renovation work down at the Beckley location. If you're able to see the fine print on the slides, we've been seeing some really nice growth in enrollment in Beckley pretty much across all programs. ADN has been really strong. Associate Degree in Nursing has been very strong for us in Beckley for a number of years. But the last few years, Jason Wilcox and his team have been seeing some really nice enrollment gains in the radiology technology program, and we're also seeing some nice increases in the occupational therapy assistant program this year. So the result of this enrollment growth is we're kind of need some more space. So we've branched out our physical presence down in Beckley and carved out some new space for the bookstore and the Student Solutions team, and in so doing freed up some space for kind of a student lounge and a faculty and staff lounge. So I really appreciate Gary Boyd and his team kind of leading those renovation efforts, and Ella and her crew are going to be working on some new signage and branding, so really making some nice improvements down in the Beckley location, and pleased that we have such great relationships with donors in Beckley who are underwriting the costs of those improvements. We also opened up the outdoor fitness court. See a couple of our women's soccer players doing demonstrations when we did the ribbon cutting. That's getting a lot of use. Members of the community are coming by and incorporating that into their kind of fitness routines. And now that we've been bringing student athletes back to campus, it's been great seeing it getting even more use. And I think Tim McCutcheon setting a high bar in terms of utilization of the outdoor fitness court. So great job, Tim. And again, it's something that we, through external support, are able to offer not only to our UC community, but to the entire Charleston community. So encourage you, as well as others in your communities, to come by, check it out, and put it to good use, as we all are concerned about health and wellness. The Breezeway underwent a major renovation. I think it turned out great. The floor-to-ceiling kind of glass is phenomenal, really kind of leveraging the spectacular view of the river and the state capitol, better lighting, better HVAC, and the exterior will get its finishing touches sometime this month or next, but another great externally funded project, primarily through our Give for Gold initiative. So hats off to the development team for your great work in helping us with a fundraising for that project. Hopefully you noticed as you have been rolling into campus, all of our parking areas here in Charleston have been refinished. So they've been, cracks have been filled in, they've been resealed, they've been repainted, really look great and provide just the right type of look that we want when visitors come to campus. As I mentioned, the residence halls have been, had their kind of annual spruce up. The facilities team has done a great job there as well. And the Gorman Hall project is moving on schedule. That's the project where we have filled in the old swimming pool, and the majority of that space is being repurposed for athletic training, for rehabilitation science programs, so graduate programs in occupational therapy and physical therapy, some more weight training space for athletics, and we're also up on the second floor kind of adding some workspace for the athletic training staff. So big project, kind of really began in earnest when kind of campus cleared out in May, and hopefully we'll bring that project to conclusion by the end of 2025. So lots going on there, lots of infrastructure work, plumbing, electrical, windows, so on and so forth. So a lot of foundational work needs to be done in there before we start to build out the programming for the different functions that I mentioned. Also, I think Kara Fisher sent a note out to the community this morning, so thank you, Kara, for doing that. Really excited about Labor of Love, annual activity that we do every year during Labor Day. So instead of having classes, we all use that day as a commitment to the community involvement, pillar of our mission. So we'll be organizing around academic programs, around athletic teams, around different offices and units on campus, so that we can all roll up our sleeves and do some form of community service work the morning of Labor Day. For our colleagues in Beckley or our colleagues online, we'll certainly have opportunities for you to participate. It might not be in the exact same way that we do it in Charleston, but it's really an opportunity for all of us as a UC community to come together and show how important the communities where we study, the communities where we work, and the communities where we live, how important they are to us and our commitment to try to make them the best that we can. So more details to follow, and of course the catering team and student life will be putting on a kind of a great picnic, lounging on the lawn. So after we do our community service work, we'll be able to go onto the back lawn, have a great lunch, and have some games, and do more of the family relaxation, fun aspects of Labor Day. And then planning is already underway for Martin Luther King Jr. holiday in January, and the launch of our Enlightened Living Days. So more to come as the Provost's office kind of organizes those plans. Homecoming and Family Weekend is fast upon us. As soon as the semester begins, we'll be getting ready to start enjoying some football games, and our home game on Saturday, September 21st, will be kind of the rallying point around homecoming. So the Homecoming and Family Weekend will kind of start on Friday. We'll have a lot of activities organized by the Development and Alumni Relations Office. So Christina Carr has been really busy putting together a great schedule of events that will kick off on Friday, roll into the football game on Saturday. I know there's also a men's soccer game that day, so we'll be kind of dividing and conquering, and conquering both of the teams we're playing, of course, but dividing our attention across both of those sports. So definitely encourage your students to take advantage of all the great activities, encourage their families to come and connect with them, connect with us, celebrate with us, and as you are in touch with alumni, certainly encourage them to join us as well. And then I got a note the other day from Miss Elaine, that our healthcare interprofessional education team is working hard on some great activities for this fall, and this is where we really proactively leverage the fact that we have so many great healthcare programs here at the University of Charleston on a campus where we all know each other. And we're all pretty much located within the same kind of cluster of buildings. You don't have to jump on a shuttle bus to get from one campus, one building to another. So we want to take advantage of opportunities for our students to do interactive simulation, case study types of activities across healthcare programs together. So I appreciate all the program directors and faculty who roll up their sleeves and make that happen. It's one thing when the accrediting bodies say it's something that you need to do. It's another to actually make it happen and make it a very educational and rewarding experience for our students, which I know that we'll continue to do. So those are some of the things that have happened this fall, this summer, and will continue into the fall. Let me talk just a minute about HLC reaccreditation. This happens every 10 years, and in some ways, there's really nothing that trumps the importance of this. What happens if things don't go well? Well, we could be put on notice, or we could be put on probation. Those are things that we would have to post publicly on our website. And guess what? Our competitors would try to take advantage of that. And they would say, they would say to James as he's trying to, recruit a basketball athlete here, they would say, no, you really shouldn't go to UC. It's not a good school. They're on probation from their accrediting body. And that's going to make it really hard for James to recruit that basketball player. It's going to make it hard for Beth to recruit everybody here to UC. And why do we go through accreditation? It's for continuous improvement. The HLC, which is our accrediting body, the Higher Learning Commission, says there are a number of different standards that educational institutions need to meet to assure that when students go to that institution, they are getting the quality of education that they said they were going to deliver. So it's our responsibility, right? When we bring a student here, we have to deliver on the promise. The promise is that they're going to get a great education, they're going to get a great student life experience, they're going to get a great athletic experience, all the different experiences that we offer. So that's what the HLC does, is every 10 years they said, okay, it's been a while since we've come, heard your story, come and met people, visited your campus, talked to your faculty, met with your students, and let's see, are you delivering what you should be to provide those students with the promise that you gave them to get them to come to your institution. So the clock has ticked. We're just about at 10 years. So this process of preparation has been going on for a while. It's going to culminate with us having to submit an assurance document. So it's a kind of a self-study report. We're going to have to submit that by January 13th. A team of subject matter experts who work at other higher education institutions that are also part of the Higher Learning Commission that have expertise in evaluating colleges and universities are going to come to campus on February 10th and 11th, and we'll have a variety of opportunities for them to meet with folks. So lots of preparations are being done to make sure that we have that self-study in the best possible shape it can be by mid-January, and that we will be really prepared for our visitors to come join us in mid-February. So what the HLC focuses on are 5 criteria. Our mission. What is our mission, and do they see the mission actually being focused upon and achieved at the university? Well, fortunately, we have a great mission, and a mission that's easy to remember and easy to understand. And we know that we're going to do 3 things. We're going to educate each and every student for 3 things. Say them with me. A life of productive work, enlightened living, and community involvement. We know that. So when the HLC team comes and they happen to pop their head in the kitchen and Seth notices them and walks over and introduces himself, they're going to say, hey, Seth, tell me, what do you think about the mission to the University of Charleston? And Seth's going to say, I wouldn't want to work anywhere else. It's a mission where we educate each and every student for 3 things. A life of productive work, enlightened living, and community involvement. But we can't do any of those things if we don't feed people. So that's my job, to feed people so we can live that mission. And they're going to go, wow, even the folks in the kitchen know the mission. And that's how prepared we're going to have to be, right? But it's going to be easy because we know our mission. We know our core values: student focus, quality, integrity. So the great things about UC, we keep things simple, right? 3 things. We can all remember 3 things. 3 things that we know make a difference in how we're able to do our jobs each and every day. So the mission is a big, critical piece, and tomorrow I'll be doing an update for those of you that are able to join on our strategic plan. And our strategic plan is built around our mission. So when we did designed our new strategic plan in 2022, we knew the HLC visit was coming, and we were very intentional about making sure our strategic plan was really built around those 3 pillars of our mission. Second criteria, integrity, making sure that what we're doing is both ethical and responsible. Criteria 3, teaching and learning with regard to quality, resources, and support to ensure that students get a great education. And then criteria 4 with teaching and learning, how do we evaluate the extent to which students are learning what they should, and what processes do we have in place to make sure that we're continually trying to improve those learning outcomes. And then criteria 5, institutional effectiveness, what resources do we make available throughout the university community to meet the 4 prior criteria, and what type of kind of planning activities do we have in place to make sure that we continue to live out our mission. So these are all things that we do. We know we do well. Now we have to make sure that we tell our story in the best way possible. So the next steps, the Provost's office is kind of leading this initiative. Beth Pauley in particular has been putting together all the different pieces, which many of you in the room have been working on as part of this self-study report. So we'll be sharing pieces of that with different stakeholder groups, and then having follow-up meetings to make sure we're not leaving anything out, making sure everything's crystal clear. And then with regard to campus preparations, knowing what are the areas that we're going to need to emphasize, having kind of question prep sessions so that we're all feeling like we're not going to be surprised and we're not going to be caught off guard when the February visit rolls around and folks are walking across campus and attending meetings or stopping people kind of randomly, and making sure we're all clear of the logistics of how that visit is going to go. So very important. I'm sure we'll do well. We have lots of specialized accreditations here at the University of Charleston. All of our healthcare programs have specialized accreditation. Our business school and leadership, specialized accreditation. Education, specialized accreditation. We know how to navigate these accreditation processes. But this is the big one, because it encompasses the entire university, not just individual programs. So we will be up to the task. Okay, let me focus just a minute on culture and communications. This is something we really value here at UC. There's kind of different levels of governance here at the university. So we have the university administration, often referred to as the cabinet, which is myself, the executive vice presidents and vice presidents. We expand that to include the deans, what we call the ULT, or the university leadership team. Then we have another group of individuals who serve in some type of a supervisory role here at the university. We call that the A3 group. So it's higher ed, lots of acronyms, but we have a structure. We have an administrative structure here. We also have a board of trustees who takes on the voluntary, unpaid responsibility for overseeing the sustainability of the university. That technically is to whom I report, and the cabinet interacts with the board on a regular basis. The board participates in the faculty assembly meetings each month, and a number of faculty representatives participate in the board of trustee meetings every quarter. And then we have the faculty who help us make sure that we are offering the right programs in the right formats to educate students, achieve our program learning outcomes, our course learning outcomes, and really making sure that students come here for an education and they're going to get a great education and really be prepared for that life of productive work, enlightened living, and community involvement when they graduate. So we always make sure that we are paying attention to having great communications across those three broad different stakeholder groups. This will be the third year that we will be launching an employee climate survey, so we're always very interested in what we're doing well, areas where we can improve, and areas like culture and communications, areas around diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, resources and support, overall job satisfaction. So in October, we'll give everybody a heads up that we'll be releasing a survey electronically, and we'll be looking for you to participate in that survey and give us some great input. We have a separate committee which focuses on DEIB, and we did some data collection with students last year, which complemented the data that we've been collecting with the employee climate survey. And also kind of thinking about just different programming that we can do to make sure that we're creating a culture of belonging and inclusivity here at UC. Each semester, we try to identify training and development programs which will be beneficial across the institution. There may be some things which just get built into faculty assembly meetings because they really just pertain to faculty. We'll have other things which may just pertain to certain office staff. But we'll have a number of different programs that are important for all of us. Things around cybersecurity, making sure that we are protecting our identities, protecting university data as appropriately as we can. Sessions about how do we kind of enhance the culture here at the university? How do we kind of maximize our time management skills, our conflict resolution skills, things that will just kind of make us better at our jobs and make the university more efficient, more effective, and a better place to work. So we'll be doing training and development this semester and then into the spring as well. We really try to encourage a culture of communications here at the university. If you see something, say something. If you hear something, say something. We don't know what to fix until we're aware of the problem, right? So we really want to encourage you to share what you hear, share what you see. The natural progression is you would share something with your supervisor. And depending on the situation, if you don't think that's being heard or it's being acted upon, you know, if it's a personnel issue, you would go to human resources. Or if it's something within your particular unit, you would go to your supervisor, whether that's a director or a vice president or whatever the case may be. But it's okay to escalate issues if we really don't think that they're getting resolved, because at the end of the day, there's a problem, we want to fix it here at the University of Charleston. Now, that being said, if you see a problem, you can bring it directly to me. That's okay. My door's open. I answer my emails, but it's probably just not the most efficient approach. Because what am I going to do with most issues? I'm going to say, well, who owns this issue? And I'm going to send it to them, right? So it's just going to kind of hold up the process a little bit if you escalate a little too fast or you kind of jump in the progression stage. But if you have a situation where you just aren't comfortable sharing it personally with somebody, we do have an anonymous reporting system, and it's called Let Us Know. And it's through a system that we have here called eConnect. And we'll make sure that the communications team, marketing communications team, sends out a communication, because we have a lot of new employees here, to understand how you can access that system. But it's an opportunity for you to either self-identify or not any particular issue, concern, or suggestion that you have. It doesn't necessarily have to be a problem. You might say, hey, nobody's fault, but I really think it would be great if we did X. Or if you said, you know what, I saw somebody doing something that I thought was really above and beyond what I would expect their job responsibilities to be. I don't really know that person, I don't know their supervisor, but I want somebody to know. You can submit it on Let Us Know. So it's a forum for you to use, and our pledge as the university administrative team is we check that regularly. We have a system for how information gets distributed to the appropriate parties, and we make sure that we're taking accountability and kind of acting on things that are submitted. And then finally, with regard to cultural communications, we want to make sure we're doing some fun things, right? So we're going to have our welcome back lunch here in Charleston on, that's tomorrow. It is on Wednesday, the 14th. Sorry about that. On Wednesday the 14th, it'll be at the Boathouse at 11:30. We will hold one on the Beckley location a week from Friday on the 23rd. That'll be at noon. And for our employees that don't live close to either location, we will be sending you a Chick-fil-A gift card so you can have a celebratory start of the academic year lunch on us at everybody's family restaurant favorite, Chick-fil-A. And we'll be doing other kind of social activities throughout the year. We'll be having a reception with new faculty over at the President's House. We'll be meeting with all of the new Charleston students over at the President's House for dinner in a couple of weeks. We're going to be meeting with the second-year faculty to see how year one went. Dan and I will be meeting with them for a just kind of coffee get-together very shortly. So look forward to having social activities with everyone. All right, we're going to wrap up this morning with some special awards. So as I mentioned, we do the Traveling Shell Award, which goes to a team of individuals who've kind of gone above and beyond, and then the Heisman Award for an individual who has done the same. And we can see some of the past award winners here on the screen. So we encourage everybody in the community to nominate folks. So our nominations this year for the Traveling Shell Award are the Catering and Events Team, the Financial Aid Office, having to slog through all the fun and games of the debauched FAFSA this year. The Health Science Summer Boot Camp Team, which did a great job trying to encourage high school students about great career opportunities in healthcare and kind of pursuing them through a great UC education. And the School of Pharmacy, who had a really successful reaccreditation through kind of their accrediting body this year. So lots of great nominations, all deserving. This semester, the Traveling Shell Award is going to go to the Catering and Events Team. All right, so those of you that are here, Sandy Buckner, Donna Estep, Mary Faulkner, Anna Hirschhorn, Drew Lucas, Seth Samples, and Bev Sovine. Great job, everybody. There you go.
I will.
Great job, guys. Thanks. We'll get a picture after. Okay. All right, and some terrific nominations for the Heisman Trophy. These are in alphabetical order by last name. Todd Dugood in athletics. We have just an incredible athletics program, not only kind of on the field, on the pitch, on the court, and so forth, but really a exceptionally large program in terms of the number of student athletes that we bring here to campus and provide them just terrific experiences. And as part of that process is really trying to make sure that we're kind of maximizing as much tuition, room and board revenue as we can through athletics. And Todd just takes a great role overseeing that process. Michaela Huddleston, as I mentioned, very successful ACPE reaccreditation by the School of Pharmacy, and Michaela took a leadership role in ensuring that happened. Violetta Petrosian oversees international student services, so all the students that we have here every year from over 40 different countries all flow through Violetta, not only to get here, but making sure that they have a great experience being so far away from home and all the challenges that represents. Jason Salmons in admissions does a terrific job managing all of the operational aspects of admissions across so many different types of programs, so many different types of students that we serve, and really appreciate all the great work that he does. Jessica Wagner, kind of a one-man team, one-woman team, overseeing career services. Jessica does a terrific job, and some really fun innovations this year. For example, the kind of business attire program to provide students with kind of interview and on-the-job clothing that they may not have. And then Chris Welty in advancement. Chris kind of cuts across lots of different activities that we do in advancement, alumni relations, the Builders Group, the homecoming, all different types of activities, and really appreciate what a great ambassador he is for the University of Charleston. So a round of applause for everybody here. And the winner for this semester is Violetta. And since we have Violetta's picture on the stage, many of you may not be aware that a full-length documentary film, feature film, I stand corrected, a full-length feature film on Violetta's family and their transition here to the United States is almost completed. And we plan to do a premiere showing in October in the auditorium, which is currently being renovated. And we will make sure everybody is aware, and that is going to be a very fun night for all of us and all of our students to be able to kind of share that journey of Violetta's life and her family's life in all of its cinematic splendor. So something more to look forward to with Violetta. All right, I know we've kind of hit our mark of 10 o'clock. Sorry to keep you a couple extra minutes. I know we have a faculty assembly meeting coming up, but I want to wish everybody a great semester, great academic year, and if there's anything we can do to make those better for anybody, don't hesitate to let us know. Thanks for being here, everybody.